The human sat in the quiet control room, staring at the endless black of space. For hours nothing had changed. Only the stars, cold and far away, blinked back at him through the glass. His ship drifted in orbit around the alien planet, waiting. He thought this was just another patrol, just another mission. But in the deep of his chest, something felt wrong. He touched the old locket around his neck. Inside was a tiny picture of his two sisters. One smiled wide, always playful, always daring. The other looked calmer, serious, protective. They were his anchor, his reason to fight, the only family he had left. Then it happened. The ship shook, a sharp vibration that rattled every screen and tool. Alarms screamed. Red lights flashed across the panels. The human jumped to his feet, gripping the chair to steady himself. Outside the window, a strange glow lit up the dark sky. It was not a star. It was moving, alive, pulsing like a heart. The speakers crackled. A voice, not human, cold and metallic, slid into the room. Human, we know you. We know your weakness. You will obey or you will lose everything. The man froze. His pulse hammered in his ears. He tried to answer, but his throat went dry. The voice continued, "Bring us what we want. If you refuse, one of your sisters dies tonight." The words cut deeper than any blade. His hand shook, his stomach twisted. He opened his mouth, whispering, "No." "How do you know about them?" The answer came quickly. The walls of the control room flickered, and a blue light spread into the air, shaping into a vision. Two cages appeared in the light, one on the left, one on the right, and inside them his sisters, both alive, both terrified. Their eyes searched wildly, their hands pressed against invisible walls. The human staggered forward, his chest aching. "Sarah? Emily?" His voice cracked. How is this possible?" The voice ignored his panic. "You must choose. One sister lives. The other is executed. Decide quickly." He couldn't breathe. He slammed his fists on the console. "No, you can't make me do this." The ship trembled again. Outside, the glow grew brighter, spreading like fire across the stars. The alien presence was real, heavy, pressing on his mind. He felt it crawl into his thoughts, pulling out his fear. He remembered his younger days. Sarah, the brave one, always climbing trees higher than anyone dared. Emily, the calm one, always pulling him back when he rushed into fights. He remembered the laughter, the warmth of home, the way they both promised never to leave him alone, and now, the universe was forcing him to betray one of them. The alien voice spoke again, colder this time. "You humans value family. We study you. We know what breaks you. Make your choice or both will die." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The man's legs weakened. He grabbed the console, shaking his head. This isn't real. This can't be real. But the vision was too sharp, too clear. His sister's tears were too human to be a trick. Sarah shouted through the flickering light, her voice rough with fear. "Don't listen to them. Don't give them what they want." Emily cried out, her voice softer but steady. "Brother, save her. Save Sarah. She's stronger than me. She can survive this." His heart tore in two. Each word was a dagger. 7, 6, no, he screamed. His hands flew across the controls, searching for weapons, shields, anything. But the screens only showed static. The ship was locked. The aliens had control. 5, 4. The human fell to his knees, sweat running down his face. His mind spun, searching for a way out, any trick, any lie. But time was burning. 3. His sisters pressed their hands against the walls of their cages, reaching for him even across the light. Their eyes met his, full of love, full of terror. 2. His breath caught in his throat. He could not speak. He could not choose. 1. Silence. Then the alien voice whispered, almost like a hiss. "Your weakness will destroy you, but we will give you more time. The test has only begun." The vision faded. The cages vanished. The control room fell dark except for the faint red glow of warning lights. His body shook, but his sister's voices still echoed in his head. He was trapped. The aliens knew his deepest fear, and now they had made it a weapon. The human clenched his fists, his jaw tight. His chest burned with anger, but also with guilt. He didn't know how to save them. He didn't know how to fight this enemy, but one thing was certain. This was not just a mission anymore. This was war, and he had only one goal left: to bring both sisters home alive, no matter what it cost. The human could not rest. Even after the alien voice went silent, his chest still felt crushed. Every sound on the ship, every beep of a machine, every hiss of air echoed like a warning. He sat alone in the dim light trying to breathe, but his mind would not let him. All he saw were the cages, the terrified faces of his sisters. Hours passed, or maybe only minutes. Time bent strangely under fear. Then, without warning, the ship's control panels lit up again. A new transmission appeared. The blue light spread across the walls, growing larger, sharper. The human's heart froze. His sisters were back. This time the vision was clearer, as if the cages had been moved closer. He could see every detail. The thin walls that shimmered like glass, the shadows of alien guards behind them. The air around the cages seemed heavy, thick with energy. Sarah, the wild one, slammed her fists against the wall.
"Let us out!"
"You cowards, face us instead of hiding." Her voice shook, but her fire remained. She always fought, no matter the odds. Emily stood quieter, gripping the bars with both hands. Her eyes searched the room until they locked onto her brother's. "Are you there? Please tell me you can see us." The human pressed his hands to the glowing vision, even though he knew he could not touch them. His throat burned. "I'm here. I swear I'm here." The alien voice returned, colder, sharper than before. "You delay. You resist. But there is no escape. You must learn." The vision shifted. The cages began to move apart, sliding across a floor that was invisible to the human. A dark abyss opened between them, like a pit that had no bottom. Sparks of red energy flared beneath. The human gasped. "What are you doing to them?" The voice answered with calm cruelty. "We test your species. You value family. You claim loyalty. But all loyalty breaks. All love bends. You will choose. Or they will both vanish into the void." Sarah laughed bitterly, even through her fear. "Don't give them what they want. Don't you dare." Emily's voice broke. "Don't listen to me. Don't listen to her. Just do something, please." The cages hovered at the edge of the pit, glowing brighter as the energy swirled below. The alien guards moved closer, tall shadows with eyes like burning coals. Their bodies seemed half solid, half smoke, weapons in their hands that pulsed like living metal. The human's fists shook. He shouted into the empty room, "You want me? Take me instead!" The voice hissed. "Not you, them. The choice remains." The countdown began again. 10, 9, 8. But this time the human noticed something different. In the reflection of the blue light, he saw faint lines across the cages, patterns almost like circuits. They glowed and pulsed in rhythm with the countdown. He narrowed his eyes. Could those lines be a weakness? A crack in the alien design? 7. Sarah kicked at the wall again, and for a second the light around her flickered. 6. Emily cried out, but the human caught the detail. Yes. Every time the sisters fought back, the circuits flickered. The cages weren't perfect. They weren't unbreakable. The human leaned forward, whispering, "Keep fighting. Don't give up." 5. The alien voice heard him. "You think they can resist us?" Foolish, but the human ignored the voice. He focused on Sarah and Emily. His own voice rose, fierce, desperate. "Hit the walls, harder, together. Don't stop. 4. Sarah's eyes lit up with fire. "Finally, something I'm good at." She pounded with both fists. Emily hesitated, fear in her eyes. I can't." "Yes, you can," the human shouted. "You're stronger than you think. Do it now." 3. Emily drew in a shaky breath, then slammed her palms against the wall. The cages shook. The circuits blazed, then cracked with sparks. 2. The alien voice roared. "Enough!" The guards raised their weapons, glowing hotter, ready to strike. 1. Before the final word, Sarah and Emily screamed together, hammering the walls with everything they had. The vision flared. The blue light shook and twisted. For a heartbeat, the cages flickered like broken screens. The sisters' images stretched, split, then snapped back. The human staggered, blinking against the brightness. He heard alien static, voices clashing in anger. Then the countdown stopped. Silence fell again. The cages remained, but something had changed. The cracks glowed brighter, scars against the alien technology. His sisters were still trapped, still scared, but they were no longer helpless. The alien voice returned, low and furious. "You resist. You fight. This is not acceptable. The test will continue. And you, human, you will suffer." The vision dissolved, vanishing like smoke. The human fell back into his chair, trembling. His heart pounded, but a small spark of hope flickered inside. He had seen it. Alien technology could break. His sisters could fight. He was not powerless, But the enemy was angry now, and their games were only beginning. The human sat in silence long after the vision faded. His chest heaved with shallow breaths, sweat damp on his forehead. The control room was quiet now, but his mind was loud. Every corner of his thoughts was filled with the faces of his sisters, trapped, frightened, reaching for him. He closed his eyes, and the present dissolved. The past returned. He saw himself as a boy, standing in a sunlit field on Earth. The air smelled of grass, warm and safe. His sisters were there, laughing, running circles around him. Sarah, bold as always, dared him to chase her. Emily followed, slower, but her smile was just as bright. He remembered how Sarah climbed the tallest tree, waving from the top like a queen. "Bet you can't catch me," she shouted, voice full of mischief. He laughed, trying to climb after her, but slipped halfway. His arms burned, his pride stung. Before he could fall, Emily's hand caught his. She pulled him down gently, scolding him with a voice much older than her years. "Don't be stupid. You'll break your neck." Sarah only laughed harder. "He'll learn when he grows wings." They always balanced each other. Fire and calm, chaos and order. His life would have been empty without both. The memory shifted. He was older now, a teenager, walking home at night. A gang of older boys circled him, ready for a fight. He had clenched his fists, but before he could swing, Sarah appeared. She stood in front of him, fearless, daring them to touch her brother. Her wild glare alone made them hesitate. And when one boy lunged, it was Emily who pulled him away, dragging both her siblings down a side street. Later, Sarah raged about running. Emily only said, "There's no shame in surviving." Both of them had saved him that night. One with fire, one with wisdom. The human's chest ached as the memory faded. He opened his eyes back in the dark control room. His throat tightened. How could he ever choose between them? The alien voice returned, breaking the fragile silence. "You cling to the past. Your memories are chains. They blind you to reality." The human snarled, his voice rough. "They are not chains. They're the reason I fight. You wouldn't understand." "Understand?" The voice hissed. "We study, we know. Your kind believes love is strength, but love makes you weak. When forced to choose, you will break." The room flickered. A new vision formed. This time the cages hovered above that endless pit again. But something was different. The aliens had brought in projections of the past. Shadows of childhood memories surrounded the sisters. Sarah's cage glowed with images of her climbing trees, fists raised against bullies. Emily's cage filled with images of her reading books under lamplight, calming storms with her gentle voice. The human gasped. They had stolen his memories, twisted them. The alien voice whispered, "Choose. Which memory do you keep? Which life do you erase?" The human's eyes burned. "No. I won't let you touch them." The cages began to sink lower. Sparks of energy snapped beneath them, pulling them closer to the abyss. Sarah gritted her teeth, shouting, "Don't let them use me against you. I'd rather die than see you bow to them." Emily's voice shook, but her eyes stayed steady. "Don't listen to her anger, think, be smart. If you must choose, save one of us." The human's heart split. Both voices tore him apart. He dropped to his knees, clutching his head, whispering, I can't. The alien voice hissed with satisfaction. "Yes, break, despair, that is what we desire." But then something stirred. The human looked up, trembling, but there was fire in his eyes now. "You think love makes me weak? You're wrong. Love is what makes me dangerous." He stood, fists clenched, staring into the vision. "I won't erase my past. I won't erase them. I'll save both, even if I burn your whole world down to do it." For a moment, the vision flickered. The alien voice faltered, as if unsettled. "You defy us still? Very well. The test continues." The cages rose back from the abyss. The memories faded, leaving only the sisters again, both alive, both watching him with wide, tearful eyes. The human pressed his hand against the fading light. "Hold on, I promise, I'll find a way. I won't let you go." The vision dissolved. The control room grew dark again. He stood alone, but no longer drowning in despair. His past was not a weakness. His memories were armor. His sisters had always saved him before. Now it was his turn. He would not choose. He would fight. The control room was silent again, but the human knew it wouldn't last. The aliens had not finished with him. They had only pulled him deeper into their trap. He wiped the sweat from his face, his hand trembling. He could still hear his sisters' voices echoing inside his skull. Then, without warning, the ship's systems came alive. Lights flickered, screens glowed, and the air filled with a low hum. The alien voice returned, smooth this time, almost calm, as if it were no longer angry. "Human," it said, "you are strong. You resist more than most. This is interesting. Perhaps you deserve a chance. Perhaps your sisters deserve mercy." The man's stomach turned. "Mercy from you?" His voice was rough, bitter. The voice ignored his tone. "We offer you a bargain. Share with us your secrets. Tell us what makes humans so defiant, so dangerous. Give us knowledge of your weapons, your colonies, your defenses. Do this and both sisters live." The human froze. His hands curled into fists. He had expected more threats, more pain. But a deal? A deal was worse. Images filled the air again. He saw his sisters alive, walking free. Sarah smiling, Emily laughing, both running into his arms. The vision felt real, warm, alive. His heart ached. But then another image flashed. The earth in flames, cities collapsing, human ships falling from the sky. Alien war machines spread across oceans and skies. His people enslaved. His sisters alive, but everyone else gone. The human staggered back. "No, you're trying to trick me." The voice answered softly, almost kindly. "Is it trickery to offer life? You cannot save everyone, but you can save your family. Why should strangers matter more than blood?" The man's chest heaved. His heart screamed to take the deal, to save Sarah and Emily no matter the cost. But another voice, quieter, steadier, whispered in his mind. "If you give them what they want, humanity is finished." Sarah's voice cut through the fog of temptation. From the vision she shouted, "Don't you dare! Don't sell out billions just for us!" Her fiery spirit burned even behind the cage. Emily's softer voice followed, trembling but clear. "Brother, I don't want to die, but I don't want to live if the price is everyone else." Tears stung the human's eyes. They were both begging him in different ways, but both refused to let him betray his people. The alien voice pressed harder. "Do not listen to them. Their words are noble, but their screams will be louder when the void swallows them. Picture it, human. Their bodies falling, their voices silenced forever, all because of your stubbornness." The vision shifted. Now he saw Sarah hanging limp in the cage, her fire gone. Emily lying still, her gentle eyes closed. The pit swallowed them both. The human cried out, "Stop it! Stop showing me this!" The voice whispered like a serpent. "It can be avoided. One word from you. One truth given. And both live." The man's breath came fast, shallow. His knees nearly buckled. His hand reached toward the console, trembling as if he might actually speak the secrets the aliens wanted. He thought of Earth's fleets, the codes he knew, the locations of human colonies. The knowledge weighed on his tongue. Then he stopped. He remembered another moment from his past. Years ago, when Earth first faced the alien threat, he had stood with other recruits. Their commander had told them, "If you are ever captured, never give them what they seek. Humanity's survival depends on silence. Better one death than a billion." The words rang in his mind like steel. The human straightened. His voice was raw but firm. "No deal. You will never get what you want from me." The alien voice hissed, angry now. "Fool. You would throw away your sisters for strangers?" The man's jaw tightened. His tears fell, but his voice did not break. "I would throw away myself before I throw away my people. And you still don't understand. My sisters would want the same." For a moment silence, then the ship shook violently. Lights burst across the panels. The alien voice roared, no longer calm, no longer patient. "You dare deny us? Then watch them suffer." The vision of his sisters returned, clearer than ever. The cages shrank, walls pressing closer around their bodies. Sarah screamed, pushing back with her fists. Emily cried out, gasping as the walls tightened. The human slammed his fists on the console. "No, leave them alone," the voice thundered. "You had your chance. You chose defiance. Now you will witness consequence." The man's chest burned with rage. He stared at the cages, his heart breaking, but his mind sharp. He searched the images, searching for patterns, for cracks, for anything that might help him later. The vision wavered, then snapped off suddenly. His sisters were gone again. The room fell dark. The alien voice whispered one final time. "The test continues. You will beg before the end." The control room was silent again. The human stood shaking, half from grief, half from fury. He had refused the temptation, but the cost was growing. He swore under his breath. "Hold on, Sarah. Hold on, Emily. I'll find a way." "I swear it." The human stood alone in the control room, chest heaving, fists trembling. His body was weak, but his mind was sharper than ever. The aliens had tried to break him with fear, with lies, with visions of his sisters. They thought he was cornered. But something inside him had changed. He was done being the victim. He whispered to himself, "If they want a fight, I'll give them one." The ship was still under alien control, but he had trained for years. He knew technology always had cracks. He moved quickly to the console, fingers racing across the controls. Most systems were locked, but not all. Small pathways flickered in the code, tiny windows the aliens had missed. His heart pounded as he dug deeper. Sweat dripped down his face. Every second felt like the aliens could return. But he pressed on, whispering, "Come on, come on." Then, success. A single panel blinked green. He had bypassed one layer of the lock. It wasn't much, but it was something. Before he could act further, the lights flared. The alien voice filled the room, sharp and cold. "You dare tamper with our control?" The human didn't flinch this time. He snarled, "You can't hold me forever." The room shook as the aliens responded. The walls shimmered, and suddenly they were no longer walls. The human blinked. He was no longer in the control room. He was inside the alien ship itself. The floor beneath him was black metal, pulsing with red veins of light. Tall walls rose around him, covered in strange symbols that shifted like living creatures. Alien guards stood at the edges, tall, shadow-like, with burning eyes and weapons that hummed with energy. And at the center, his sisters. The cages hovered again, wires of light wrapped tightly around them. Sarah struggled, slamming her fists against the walls. Emily pressed her palms together, whispering prayers under her breath. The human's rage ignited. "Let them go," he shouted. His voice echoed across the alien chamber. The guard stepped forward, weapons raised. The alien voice hissed, "You cannot win. Obey or die." The human's eyes darted. He had no weapon, no armor, no backup, only his will. But then he noticed. One of the guard's weapons flickered, unstable, as if its energy core wasn't secure. A plan sparked in his mind. When the first guard lunged, the human ducked, rolled across the ground, and slammed his shoulder into the creature's legs. The guard fell, weapon clattering. Before the alien could rise, the human grabbed the weapon. It burned in his hands, heavy and alive, but he forced his grip tighter. The other guards roared, charging. The human aimed the stolen weapon, pulled the trigger. A blast of blue fire erupted, striking one guard and sending it crashing into the wall. Sparks exploded, filling the air. The human's chest burned with adrenaline. Sarah cheered from inside her cage. "That's it. Hit them harder." Emily's voice trembled. "Careful. Don't get killed, please." The human fought with everything he had. Each blast of the weapon lit the chamber. The guards attacked in waves, claws slashing, weapons striking. He dodged, rolled, and fired, every move fueled by desperation. His body screamed with pain, but his heart refused to stop. Finally, silence. Smoke filled the chamber. The last guard collapsed in sparks of red light. The human dropped to his knees, clutching the weapon, gasping for breath. His body shook, but he was alive. Sarah slammed her fists against the cage. "That's my brother. Now break these walls and get us out." The human staggered forward, raising the alien weapon toward the glowing circuits on Sarah's cage. He fired. The wall cracked, sparks flying. Sarah shielded her face, but the cage held strong. Emily shouted, "It's not enough. You need something else." The human scanned the chamber. His eyes locked on the main control pillar at the center. It pulsed brighter than the rest, feeding power to the cages. He aimed, gritted his teeth, and fired everything he had left. The pillar shattered in an explosion of light. The floor trembled. The cages flickered, their circuits sparking wildly. Sarah gasped as her wall split open slightly. Emily cried out as hers cracked. But then the alien voice thundered louder than ever. "Enough. You dare rebel? You will not escape fate, human." The entire chamber shook. New guards began forming from the shadows, their bodies rising from smoke and fire. The cages began to repair themselves, walls sealing back together. The human staggered back, weapon nearly drained. His heart sank. He had bought time, but not victory. Sarah's voice cut through the chaos. "Don't stop now. You can't give in." Emily shouted too, her calm voice turning fierce. "We believe in you. Keep fighting!" The human clenched his teeth. His arms shook, his chest burned, but his spirit refused to fall. He raised the weapon one more time, aiming at the shadows that closed in. If this was rebellion, he would carry it to the very end. The chamber burned with sparks and smoke. The human's chest rose and fell like a hammer, every breath heavy. but his grip on the alien weapon stayed firm. Around him, shadow guards began to form again, rising from pools of smoke like demons. Their eyes glowed red, their claws sharp, their voices whispering in a language too ancient to understand. The cages that held his sisters flickered. Sarah pressed her hands against the weakening walls, shouting, "Come on, break already!" Emily crouched low, covering her head as sparks rained. Then the alarms began. A deep siren echoed through the chamber, so loud it rattled his bones. Red lights flashed from the walls, bathing everything in blood-colored light. The alien ship was alive, furious. The human gritted his teeth. "I can't win here. We have to get out!" He fired at the nearest guard, the blast ripping through smoke and metal. Another guard lunged, claws reaching, but he ducked, rolled, and fired again. His weapon sputtered, its energy core almost dry. He sprinted to Sarah's cage, slamming the weapon against the circuits. Sparks flew, cracks split the wall wider. Sarah forced her arms through, ripping wires with her bare hands. With one last blast, the cage shattered. She stumbled forward, coughing from the smoke, but her eyes still burned with fire. "Took you long enough." "Help me with Emily's," he gasped. Together they turned to the second cage. Emily pressed her palms against the glowing walls, whispering, "Hurry! Please hurry!" The human aimed, fired, and Sarah punched the cracks with her fists. The wall burst open, sending a wave of light through the chamber. Emily fell into her brother's arms, trembling but alive. The alien voice boomed overhead, furious. "You dare take what belongs to us? You cannot escape. The void will claim you." The human tightened his grip on Emily, steadying her. His eyes met Sarah's. "We run now." They bolted through the smoke-filled chamber. Guards swarmed from the walls, but Sarah grabbed the fallen weapon of one alien and swung it like a club. The human blasted another, clearing the path. Emily, though weaker, kept pace, her eyes wide with fear but full of determination. The floor shook beneath their feet. The entire ship roared like a beast wounded and angry. Corridors stretched before them. Long, dark tunnels lined with alien symbols that pulsed like veins. Each step felt like running through the body of a monster. "Which way?" Sarah shouted. The human scanned the corridors, his training sparking in his mind. Alien ships always had a central core, and near that core, escape pods used for scouting, for capture missions. If they could reach them, they had a chance. "This way," he barked, dragging them left. They sprinted through the tunnel. Behind them, the guards roared, their claws scraping metal. Blasts of energy struck the walls, exploding in showers of sparks. Emily cried out, stumbling, but the human caught her arm and pulled her forward. "Don't stop." "Just a little more." Sarah swung her stolen weapon at a guard that got too close, knocking it into the wall. She grinned fiercely through the smoke. "Still better at this than you, little brother." The human almost laughed despite the chaos. Almost. They burst into a wider hall, lined with tall glass chambers, each holding strange machines that pulsed with light. The alarms were deafening here, red beams flashing across the ceiling. At the far end he saw it. A round hatch marked with alien runes, its frame glowing faintly. "Escape pods," he whispered, hope surged in his chest. But then, the alien voice thundered again. "You think you flee. You think you win. But we control all. Even your escape will cost blood." The hatch split open, revealing a small chamber with sleek pods shaped like silver arrows. But the human's heart dropped. There were only 2 pods. Sarah froze, staring. Emily's breath hitched. The human clenched his fists. No, not again. Guards filled the hall behind them, dozens of red eyes glowing in the dark. The siblings had only seconds. Sarah turned to him, her jaw tight. 3 pods would have been too easy. You know what this means. Emily shook her head, tears in her eyes. No, we're not leaving you. Not like this. The human raised his weapon, though it shook in his hands. We don't have time to argue. 1 pod can carry 2. I'll hold them off. You both go. Sarah's voice cracked with fury. Don't you dare play hero. You always do this. Emily's voice trembled, but she grabbed his arm. We'll find another way. We can... The alien voice laughed, echoing through the hall like thunder. This is the fate we promised. You cannot save all. Choose or die together. The guards closed in. The hatch alarm screamed. The pods hummed, waiting as if mocking them. The human's breath came hard. His sisters stood at his side, one fiery, one calm, both refusing to abandon him. His weapon pulsed weakly in his hands, almost spent. And yet in his heart, one truth remained: he would never choose between them. Not now, not ever. He set his jaw, raised the weapon, and stepped forward to face the wave of shadows. Then I'll make my own way. The escape had begun, but the price had not yet been paid. The hall shook with fury as the alien ship roared like a living beast. Red lights flashed, alarms screamed, and the guards closed in with claws and burning eyes. The human stood tall, his weapon trembling in his hands, his sisters pressed close behind him. The escape pods glowed like silver arrows at the far end of the chamber, 2 of them waiting mocking. Only 2. Sarah's voice cut the air. "Go, we can still make it if we move now." Emily's hand clung to her brother's arm. "Not without you. Don't even think about it." The human's chest ached. His heart pounded like a drum, louder than the alarms. He knew what the aliens wanted. This final moment was their trap. Force him to choose. Watch him break. But he whispered to himself, steady, cold, "I will not choose." The guards charged. The human raised the weapon and fired. Blue fire ripped through the smoke, striking the front line. The blast shook the hall, but more shadows swarmed from behind, endless. His weapon sputtered, its energy almost gone. Sarah swung her stolen club at one guard, knocking it down. "We can't fight them all." Emily pulled at his sleeve. "We have to go now." The human's eyes flicked to the pods. 2 seats. 3 lives. His chest burned with the cruel math. The alien voice echoed through the hall, dark and cruel. "The choice is upon you. 2 may live. 1 must die. Decide or all will fall." Sarah spat on the floor, her fire undimmed. "We're not playing your game." Emily's voice shook, but her eyes were steady. "Brother, whatever happens, don't betray who you are." The human's jaw tightened. He stared at the pods, at the endless swarm, at his sisters' faces. His heart cracked. But within that crack, something else grew. An idea. The aliens thought they controlled the pods. But pods were just machines. Machines could be broken. Machines could be rewired. He turned to Sarah, thrusting the weapon into her hands. "Cover me. Keep them back." Sarah blinked, startled. "What? No, do it!" He barked. His eyes blazed. "Trust me." Sarah gritted her teeth, then turned and fired. Blasts ripped into the guards, holding them at bay. Sparks rained down as the wall shook. The human sprinted to the pods. He yanked open a panel beneath one, wires glowing like veins. His fingers flew, pulling circuits, forcing connections. Sweat poured down his face. Emily's voice cracked behind him. "What are you doing?" "Rewriting their trap," he muttered. "If the pods are linked to the ship's core, then I can overload it. Chain them together. Force a 3rd seat." Emily's eyes widened. "You'll kill yourself." "Better me than you," he growled. Sarah's shout cut the air. "They're closing in." The guards swarmed, their claws scraping the floor. Sarah fought like fire itself, blasting and swinging, her body trembling but unyielding. Emily knelt beside her brother, her hands pressing the wires he pointed to. "Here," she whispered. "Hold this steady." Together they ripped the pod's guts apart, sparks biting their skin. The human's vision blurred from heat and pain, but he pressed on. The alien voice roared, furious now. "Stop, you cannot break our design." The human snarled through his teeth. "Watch me." With one final twist, the circuit snapped. The pod shuddered, lights flickering. Then a hum filled the chamber, low-rising, powerful. The 2 pods glowed, their frames vibrating. Slowly, their systems linked. The metal between them bent and fused, reshaping. A single larger pod formed, its interior wide enough for 3. Hope surged in his chest. "It worked." Sarah's eyes lit up. "Then let's get the hell out of here." But before they could move, the alien guards surged in one last wave. The human turned, raising his fists, ready to fight barehanded if he had to. Sarah grabbed his arm, dragging him toward the pod. "No more stunts. We're leaving together." Emily pulled from the other side, tears streaming down her face. "Please don't stay behind." For a heartbeat he hesitated. He thought of all the times he had almost lost them, all the pain, all the tests. The aliens had wanted him to sacrifice one. They had wanted him to break. Instead, he had found another way. He shoved his sisters into the pod, then climbed in after them. The hatch sealed shut. The alien voice screamed in rage. "Impossible. You defy fate itself." The human shouted back, voice fierce and raw. "No, I defy you." He slammed the launch control. The pod ripped free of the chamber with a roar of fire. The force threw them back, their bodies pressed against the walls. Behind them, the alien ship shook, its veins of red light bursting as the overload spread. Sarah laughed wildly, gripping his shoulder. We did it, Emily sobbed with relief, pressing against him. We're alive. All of us. Through the window, they watched the alien ship burn. Explosions rippled across its surface, tearing it apart. The screams of the alien voice echoed one last time, then vanished into silence. The pod soared into the stars, leaving the wreckage behind. The human closed his eyes, exhaustion washing over him, his arms wrapped around his sister's. For the first time since the nightmare began, he let himself breathe. He whispered, voice hoarse but steady. I told you, I'll never choose between you, not while I still breathe. Sarah grinned through her exhaustion. Guess love isn't weakness after all. Emily smiled softly, tears still glistening. It's what saved us. The stars stretched ahead, endless and bright. Their future was uncertain, their path unknown. But they were together, and that was enough. The human leaned back, his voice fading to a whisper. Let them come. Humanity always finds a way. The pod sailed on, carrying 3 souls who had refused to break.